All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going on a pretty wild journey into the human mind, and our guide is one of psychology's greatest explorers, Carl Jung. We're going to be using his map, a map of the soul. You know that feeling, right? Where one part of you is ready to tackle that big project, but another part just wants to binge watch a show all day. Or you're calm and collected one minute, and then, out of nowhere, you're hit with this wave of irritation. Well, for Jung, that inner conflict wasn't a problem to be fixed. It was the very definition of what it means to be alive. And this is the man himself, Carl Jung. He was a Swiss psychiatrist who, after a really famous falling out with his mentors, Sigmund Freud, decided to turn his focus inward. He went on this deep, sometimes terrifying exploration of his own mind to figure out what was really going on in there. And this quote, wow, it really captures that powerful moment he felt he finally became his own person, a feeling that literally shaped the rest of his life's work. So to find his way through this massive inner landscape, Jung needed a map. And he gave a name to the entire territory, every single thought, feeling, memory, and dream you have. He called it the psyche. That's his word for the whole shebang, your total personality. Now, Jung didn't see the psyche as some static thing just sitting there. No. He saw it as a dynamic, living system. It's powered by the tension between opposites. Like love versus hate, or our conscious self versus our unconscious self. Think of it like a battery. You need both the positive and the negative terminals to create a current. For Jung, that conflict, that tension, is what creates our psychic energy. Without it, there's just nothing, no life. Okay, so our expedition begins. We're starting at the surface, the part of our minds we know, and we're about to go deep into the hidden, mysterious layers below. Jung believed our personality was built kind of like a geological formation with distinct layers. First up, the ego. This is the absolute tip of the iceberg. It's the you that you think you are. It's the part that's listening to me right now, the part that wakes up in the morning and remembers who you are. It's basically the CEO of your conscious mind, keeping the day-to-day operations running and giving you that sense of being a continuous person. Now, right below that surface is your personal unconscious. I want you to think of this as your own private mental archive. It's got everything. Memories you've forgotten, experiences you've actively pushed away, even things you saw or heard that were too subtle for your conscious mind to even register. This part is completely 100% unique to you. And this is where things get really fascinating. This was Jung's most radical and, most controversial idea, the collective unconscious. This is the deepest layer of all. Jung argued that we are all born with a kind of shared psychic inheritance, a set of memories and ideas passed down from all of our human and even our pre-human ancestors. So, let's get this straight because the difference is absolutely crucial. Your personal unconscious is your life story. It's your first day of school, that embarrassing thing you did last week, it's all you. The collective unconscious, on the other hand, is our story. It's the universal foundation of myths, symbols, and gut feelings that we all share, just because we're human. So what's actually in this collective unconscious? Is it just some empty, dusty basement of the mind? Not a chance. According to Jung, it's populated. It's filled with a whole cast of powerful, universal patterns and characters that he called the archetypes. Think of archetypes as psychic blueprints. It's like we're all born with some pre-installed software for being human. So we don't inherit a specific memory of our mother, but we inherit the blueprint for the mother, that universal potential to understand what motherhood is. The same goes for the hero, the trickster, the wise old man. They're these universal thought forms that shape how we experience the world. Okay, so the first archetype we're going to meet is the one we show everybody else, the persona. This is your social mask. You've probably got a few of them, right? There's your professional persona at work, your fun persona with your friends, maybe a different one with your family. It's the compromise we all have to make to get along in society. But, and this is a big but, there's a danger here. Jung was really clear about warning us not to confuse the mask with our actual face. He gives this brilliant example of a professor who is only the professor. When that role completely takes over, the real person behind it just withers away, leaving nothing genuine behind. And now, let's turn to the part of ourselves we try to keep hidden away in the dark, the shadow. This is our personal dark side, our inner Mr. Hyde. It's where we stuff all the impulses, the desires, the weaknesses that our ego just finds totally unacceptable or embarrassing. It's basically everything we really don't want to admit is part of us. And this example perfectly shows what happens when you ignore the shadow. It doesn't just vanish, it builds up pressure until, boom, it erupts. This executive, who prides himself on being cool and rational, is suddenly hijacked by all his repressed anger. Now, facing our shadow is tough work for sure, but Jung believed it's also where we find a lot of our raw energy, our creativity, and our spontaneity. All right, next up are the anima and animus. This was another pretty radical idea for his time. Jung proposed that, on a psychological level, we're all androgynous. A man has an inner feminine archetype, which he called the anima, and a woman has an inner masculine one, the animus. These inner figures are so important because they often guide who we fall in love with. The trouble starts when we project that idealized inner image onto a real person, setting us up for some serious misunderstanding and disappointment. So we've mapped out the territory, and we've met some of the main characters living inside of us. But what's the whole point of this journey? Well, for Jung, the goal wasn't just to know about these parts, but to actually bring them all together into one harmonious whole. He called this process individuation. At the very heart of this journey is the most important archetype of them all, the self. The self is the true center of your entire personality, not just the conscious part. It includes everything, the conscious and the unconscious. In Jung's view, the ultimate goal of life is this process of individuation, where you shift the center of your personality from the little old ego to this much larger self. This creates balance, it creates wholeness, and you see symbols of this everywhere across all cultures, often represented by the mandala or magic circle, which symbolizes that cosmic and psychic unity. Okay, that all sounds amazing, but how do we actually do it? How do we navigate this path? Well, Jung believed we need a compass, and he said we're all born with one, our psychological type. It's our own personal, preferred way of seeing the world and making our way through it. It starts with two basic attitudes that describe which way our energy naturally flows. Does your energy flow outwards, towards the world of people, places, and things? That's extroversion. Or does it naturally flow inwards, towards your inner world of ideas and thoughts? That's introversion. And then paired with those attitudes are four functions we use to navigate life. Two are for taking in information: sensing, which notices the concrete facts of what is, and intuition, which is all about the patterns and possibilities of what could be. The other two are for making decisions: thinking, which uses cold hard logic, and feeling, which uses personal values to decide what's right for you. Jung believed that our unique combination of these attitudes and functions creates our psychological type. And yep, this is the work that became the foundation for the famous Myers-Briggs type indicator. Okay, that was a lot to take in, I know. So let's do a quick recap. First, your personality or psyche is this dynamic system of conscious and unconscious stuff. Deep down, the collective unconscious connects all of us through universal archetypes. The big ones to remember are the persona, that's your social mask, the shadow, your dark side, and the anima or animus, your inner opposite. And the whole point of this journey is self-realization, the goal of integrating all these pieces to become a more balanced, whole person, to find the self. You see, Jung's map isn't just some dusty old psychological theory. It's an invitation. It's a toolkit for a personal quest of self-discovery, to understand all the complex and even contradictory parts that make you, well, you. So the only real question left is, where on the map do you want to start exploring?